Good morning on day 16 of 99 days. And today is quite a special one, I believe, and I think for many of you it will be a special one. A very strong topic I want to touch upon: forgiveness. And if you are right now watching this and you're in the car or doing something else, perhaps you should tune in later or tune in again. And for all the others who watch it in the replay, try to find a spot where you can listen to this with openness, but also from a place where you feel safe. I don't want to scare you off with this introduction, but obviously I don't know what you've all been through. And I know from other processes and experiences from other people that forgiveness is a big theme, with a lot of resistance and a lot of beliefs around what forgiveness actually is and if it should be done or it can be done. And I was actually thinking that this topic would come up later, a little bit more into the 99 days. And perhaps it came up so strongly last night when I read about and saw the pictures of La Notre Dame that was on fire. And perhaps that brought up the subject of forgiveness, relating to a church where most likely a lot of talks and a lot of sins have been shared and a lot of requests for forgiveness have been asked. And also a church where probably a lot of injustice has been done in the past. So what is it, forgiveness? Forgiveness is, to me, and has been to me, the most liberating thing, to let go of all things. And forgiveness is really about the transition from the attachment to the identified person, and letting go of that attachment to opening up your heart and connect to your heart. And this process of forgiveness is most important to really connect with your heart, because you cannot forgive from your head, from the mind. You have to do it from your heart. Otherwise, nothing will really happen. Perhaps it helps if you close your eyes and just listen and just let the things come in. And perhaps I will close my eyes. I notice already that it's more within now than I am with other sessions, because it's a very vulnerable subject. So I want to take good care that I'm using the right words and bring the message across in such a way that you can open up to it. So forgiveness is always about the past, always about something that happened in the past, whether it happened to you, to someone else, to someone you loved, whether it happened to humanity, whether it happened to nations, It's always about the past. And as we've already shared before, we hold on a lot to things that happened in the past. And most of the time we hold on to it because we feel has been done a lot of injustice to yourself or to someone else, by someone else. Or by life. It can also be, you can feel injustice being done to you by life. And it helps to perhaps start with, well, no, it's up to you where you want to start, but there are two processes for forgiveness. It's the forgiveness of the other person or the situation that has done something to you, and there's forgiveness to yourself. And it hurts to let go of it hurts to let go of these, that what you hold on to, that story, that experience, that memory. But it hurts even more to hold on to that story as well. So the process of forgiveness hurts because you really have to trust that something other than yourself will catch you. And that other than yourself is actually yourself. So with the first thing I meant, your identified self. So you have to trust that something other than your identified self will catch you. And that is yourself. That is this being we talked about before. That is where the heart connects to this other part of you, which really is you. But if you're not so connected to that yet, it's more difficult to trust it. But I also see it as a way to open up that path. And we talked already about opening the heart and to practice it with it physically, almost like sensing your heart and opening it and become friends with it. And by going through this process of forgiveness, it might be the route or be the way to open your heart. And then you literally experience that you are being held. And that the liberation that comes with forgiveness is actually so beautiful. And that releases all the pain you hold on to, or had hold on to, for so many years probably. So who is there for you to forgive? Who did something to you that felt not right? And whether it's a big thing or a small thing, it doesn't really matter. Can you forgive that person? And if it happened in the past, and you hold on to it because you feel, but it's not okay to forgive because it was really wrong what has been done. So this feeling of injustice. But what if there's never injustice? What if it never gets justified? What if that is just simply not possible anymore? Will you still hold on to it? Will you still keep yourself prisoned in that belief or in that opinion you have that you think that the other one should be punished for it. And perhaps you're right, but it's not about here. It's not about here about justifying everything that has been done to you, because that's simply impossible. So the only way to get out of this is for you to stand up and to forgive. To forgive what has been done. And you can do that by, for instance, by writing about a situation or to that person or about that event or about that experience. And in this case, it really helps to do the handwriting thing. And then after, burn it. And forgiveness is actually completely opening up and embracing what has happened. And not finding a reason why it has happened or an explanation, or it just happened and it's okay. You can let it go now. And if it helps to put another perspective to it, it really helps. It makes it easier to forgive. But sometimes you can't. Sometimes the experience is so not justified, especially when you were a child. So you were really the innocent one there who got hurt. Then you can only be there for taking care of the little one in you. And forgive the other person, because with this forgiveness, you energetically let go of that low frequency you hold on to. You really have to open up to love, the frequency of love, to forgive that what happened. And to forgive the person who did it to you. And there are many but different belief systems you can think of why things have happened to you. Like if you believe in karma, or if you believe in reincarnation, that things that have happened to you previously will happen to you again in a certain way, so you can really let go of it now. If that helps, then that's the moment to really clear yourself, to really heal yourself in this lifetime. So it won't come back again in another lifetime. And forgiveness of what happened, you're not just healing it for yourself, but you're also healing it for anyone who is connected to that field, even the collective, because we have a lot to forgive. And try to start with the forgiveness to people who didn't do you much harm, but you still are angry with them or frustrated, or they left you and you felt like it was not fair how it has been done to me. I feel here a victim. the victim frequency, the victim role, is really, really at a very low frequency. And although we think we're not always a victim, if it's still in our system somewhere related to experiences of the past, we still also hold on to that frequency. So it's still there. And if that frequency is still there, we also exude this frequency. So we attract the same thing to happen again. And recently I saw a video from one of the two ladies of the Mengele twins from Auschwitz, who survived the experiments done by Dr. Mengele in the war. And she shared this process of forgiveness, that she forgave him, and it took her days or months or weeks, I don't even remember, to write a letter to this doctor to forgive him. And then she met another doctor who was also working for Hitler at that time in Auschwitz. And she met him, and together they went to Auschwitz, and she went with this perpetrator. She went through this process with him. And she said it was so liberating and so healing to let go of that and to really forgive him. And if a person like she, who's been gone through quite a shocking experience, that's an understatement. I don't even know how to describe it. Can't we then just at least forgive the little things that happened in our lives? Can we start there? Or can we forgive our parents for not being the perfect one? For not seeing us all the time? Or for not hearing us all the time? Or perhaps for not loving us enough all the time? And every pain hurts, I know. It's not that I want to put away the pain or just talk easy about it. It's more that if you find a reason to hold on to it, and that's a very strong belief for you, then it's okay. Then don't work with this forgiveness yet. But is it really worth? Ask yourself, is it really worth to hold on to that pain? Does it help you today? Does it help you tomorrow? And then there's forgiveness to self. That's even more difficult because there's no one to blame. And you can't even blame yourself for things. But you have to forgive yourself. Have to, in the sense that it helps to release all those lack beliefs, all those inner critic voices that we have. Like, I forgive myself for not showing who I am every day. I forgive myself for not being the best friend I could have been. I forgive myself for ruining my marriage and hurting my children. Or I forgive myself for not making changes or decisions and just stay stuck in where I am for so many years. Or I forgive myself for feeling the victim for so long. Or I forgive myself and my body for not being so healthy and not being so strong and showing a lot of pains to me. Forgive your body for giving you illnesses you don't want. Because underneath all these blocked energies, there's a lot of resistance to let go. It's the resistance that needs to open up. And you hold on to that resistance because it's scary to open up. It's scary to be completely responsible for everything you do. And then I mean particularly being an adult. If you talk about forgiveness of yourself for you as a child, it's more the caring for that what you had to go through as a child, that what life did to you. And I could give another perspective to that, but I think I will do that later on, because that might be a little bit too much now. But even in this, there's always another perspective. The forgiveness of self, of anything you can think of, even the small things, just forgive yourself, it's done. If you want to change it, you have to forgive it, you have to let go of it. And move on and show yourself that you can change your life by making different choices, by acting differently, by feeling differently, by really, really letting go of that victim role, by really letting go of that anger that's within you. Because you can forgive the other for what he did or she did to you, but forgive yourself for holding on to that anger for so long. Doesn't help you any longer. Honestly, doesn't help you any longer. So this feeling of guilt is coming through. You might hear that when I give these examples, that you're often guilty of having done something or have not done something. Feeling guilty of a lie you once told, or you're feeling guilty of not being there for someone, or you're feeling guilty of, whatever. You might have done something to someone else, which is actually quite unforgivable, but you still did it. You feel guilty about that. Be honest there with yourself and just say, okay, I was not right at the time that I did it. But apparently, I couldn't do anything else at that moment. It just happened, or it happened. For many different reasons, which are actually quite irrelevant. But I'm okay now, and I forgive myself. Forgive it from your heart to yourself. We're all humans. We live, we make mistakes, we fuck things up, we try, we fail, we try again, we don't do anything. Kind of like feel like we waste our time. Or we've done too much and we've ignored ourselves. We're just not perfect, and at the same time we are perfect because we're living this life. And we're finding out how to live this life in a most happy way. And this process of forgiveness is absolutely necessary for feeling and being connected to each and every one. So it's this ultimate here. I don't know if you missed me. because my line was frozen. Well, it's working again. Where was I? So we hold on to some things, and no, I forgot the line. And really, forgiveness is absolutely liberating. I've said it, I think, already 3 times during this session, but it's so true. And it's the complete process. You have control over yourself. I mean, you don't need anyone for it. And you don't need other people to forgive you. If you forgive them, that's okay. Because if you're waiting for forgiveness from others, then you're stepping back into the victim role. And you're depending on what others do or not do. And then you hold that experience, that what happened, you hold that alive. So it keeps coming back every now and then because he or she hasn't forgiven me. But it's already enough if you can forgive. Then literally the attachment is gone to that frequency, to that experience, to that memory. And I literally had a very vivid experience with this. A friend had done quite some nasty things to me, quite intensely, and it got me ill because of how I took it, obviously, for a couple of months. And then later on, after this awakening, and I went through this process of forgiveness, I could just completely forgive her, and I still can't feel anything that still hurt me about what happened between us. And someone else who was present at the same time, he can't forgive that what happened, and he's still, if I bring up the subject, it's still alive and it's still there, and it's still like making him furious. And I can't even connect to that feeling of furious anymore, or that I connect to that feeling of stress and fear I felt so deeply because I felt so attacked. And I was attacked mentally. For a long period. And it's so interesting that feeling is gone. And I also had to forgive myself in that process because I was there as an adult. So I had a role as well. So please open up to this and work with this. And take one step at a time. You don't have to make a whole list of everyone you want to forgive. Just start somewhere. And during these 99 days, you will notice that more memories come up that ask for forgiveness. And if you are a parent, if you are related closely to your family, this process of forgiveness is so healing for your system, your family system. So if you're a parent, your children won't take this with them. You can really heal for the whole family system. Because what happened to us is often a pattern, what happened in the past to our parents. And because of that pain, they took that pain with them, and somehow it came into our system unconsciously. That's why constellation work, if you're familiar with that, from Bert Hellinger, is so valuable, because it clears the energetic field of a family or whatever you put in the constellation. Really magical what happens. So if this topic of forgiveness brings up a real huge challenge within your family system, then finding someone who's really experienced, and please check it out, because not everyone is as experienced to facilitate that process, then constellation work can help. And for those who are not familiar with the English word, constellation work is in Dutch familieopstelling, of opstellingen. So perhaps it helps if you think that you are doing it for the greater good of all, for more than just yourself. Because the benefit is bigger than just for you. If you forgive the other, you heal the other as well. He doesn't have to know it, he or she, but it happens. So the difference between with the question I asked you 2 days ago about opening up your heart and share whatever comes out, like really purging everything that you're holding within, like getting this flow of words that are frustrating, or things that still frustrate you, or you're angry about, or whatever comes up. That in that process, I ask you to do it out loud, because it helps to get familiar with opening up to these emotions, and then it helps to say it out loud, because it activates a flow, and more things come up, and more things come up. But with this process of forgiveness, I would first start, either do it within, just in a kind of meditation setting, or do it on paper. Write it, handwrite it. And then you can still go out in nature and shout it out. And it's very related to two processes, obviously. But this process of forgiveness also needs, at the end, it needs this embrace of love to what has happened, and to yourself, and to the other person. And then I mean love with a capital L. Pure love, unconditional love. Love without any judgment or grudge or resentment. And it can help to ask someone else to support you in this process, that you can share what has happened and ask the other person to hold space for you. But just already accepting and fully embracing to forgive, the concept of forgiveness, that already is the first step. Otherwise, there's resistance and there is a lot of like thoughts coming up, like, well, that doesn't really help, and sure, I'm not able to forgive that person, or why should I forgive someone, or whatever comes up in your mind. And if it helps, there are mantras about forgiveness. The Hawaiians have a Honopupu mantra, whatever it's called, Honopu, whatever. It's these 5 or 6 sentences that you can repeat and repeat and repeat. Those things don't help me because it keeps me in the mind, but that's why it doesn't work for me. But that's personal. But if you Google on those mantras, you'll find them immediately. Or write a mantra yourself. And a mantra is nothing more, nothing less than just a sentence that you repeat to forgive, or to love, or to or anything positive around the fact that you're able to forgive it. I will post this mantra from the Indians. It might help for you. As well as I will post one of the short videos from Bentinho Massaro, in a teacher I followed for a couple of years. I really love this one. It's only about forgiveness, and it has music, guided music with it. And it just really helps to get into this state of forgiveness. And if you start this process, please try to start from a good state. So when you actually feel quite good, and don't think about going through this process, because you know it will take you down at first, but it really helps to just be open and not start from a victim role already, because it's really difficult to open up to love if your frequencies is so low. So although you might not like to do it, at least start with a meditation to just, you don't like to do it when you feel good, but at least start with a meditation to relax in a little bit and to open up, and take a few deep breaths, and then see what comes up. Ask yourself, who do I need to forgive? And then perhaps a name comes up. Or what do I need to forgive for myself? Like I said in the beginning, this forgiveness process is necessary to open your heart, because the pain body I mentioned before is actually exactly what needs to be forgiven. I mean, that what's been held in that pain body is what needs to be released. So otherwise you can practice and practice and try to open up this heart physically almost, but you will feel this contraction again and again, because just opening the heart is probably not enough. If you've pushed away all things and you're not able to forgive that situation and the persons and yourself in that, then it keeps coming back in your life. In whatever form or situation. Let's not hold on to fights, arguments, resentment, things that happened in the world, things we can't even do anything about, but we're angry about it. Systems that fail. Anything. Okay. Wish you a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow.